Commentary. We are exploring listening to albums. It is a lost art form. We took an hour out of our day. We switched off the phones, we switched off the computers, we did not answer the door. We sat down and we listened to the artist's vision and concept. Nik Kershaw, Human Racing. So this one almost didn't make it. We had a bit of a kerfuffle here and we were looking for our scripts. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've left Nik at home, but Nik, it's your turn to be under the spotlight. For Running Commentary's album reviews, the debut album from Nik Kershaw was recorded in the summer of 1983 at Psalm East and West. Marcus Music and Cherokee Studios in Los Angeles. Released on the MCA label, the album was produced by Peter Collins, and Peter Collins was responsible with Pete Waterman for the production of Lambretta's top 10 hit Poison Ivy in 1980. Human Racing reached number 5 on the UK album charts and also made the top 10 in Germany and Norway. Nik Kershaw is credited on the album as also playing the guitar and bass, as well as keyboards and percussion. Nik also wrote all the songs on the album, and the album was nominated for a Brit Award. Nicholas David Kershaw was born on the 1st of March in 1958, making him 60 years old. As of 2018, he was born in Bristol, but known to hail from Ipswich. Both of his parents were musical. His dad played the flute, and his mother was an opera singer. He taught himself to play guitar and left school in the middle of his A-levels, taking a job at an unemployment office. Mickey Modern managed to secure him a deal at MCA Records. After this album, Nik continued to enjoy considerable popularity. He was one of the performers at Live Aid and wrote Chesney Hawkes' number 1 hit, The One and Only. Smash Hits gave this album a measly 1 out of 10 review. I promise you up front my mark shall not be that low. Why review this album? Because you can't really review Howard Jones and not review Nik Kershaw. While it's true that Howard Jones enjoyed bigger success in the States, ultimately, in the UK singles chart of 1984, of which I was a teen spectator, Howard Jones and Nik Kershaw occupied similar territory. Nik Kershaw's first wife was Canadian. They had 3 children together and were divorced in 2003. Cherie herself was a musician who featured on Nik's early albums. Elton John, who was a fan of Kershaw's writing, asked the artist to play guitar on his 1985 smash single, Nikita. Paul Wicks-Wickens is credited on this album for keyboards, with Charlie Morgan on drums. It's going to be one of those where we're having to find the... Dancing Girls is a single from the album. It's the first track on the album. Bubbles and Percolates Like a Visage or Ultravox record. This is technically, like I said, the 3rd single from the album. It's probably my least favorite of the singles, but I really do like the backing track, which is energetic and inspired. It made number 2 in Ireland and Germany and peaked at number 13 in the UK. Wouldn't it be good? This was the game changer for Nik. I remember that this was riding high in the charts when I purchased my first copy of Smash Hits in February 1984. It's inventive, has presence, and I think has stood the test of time pretty well. The musing nature of the lyrics is pertinent, and I believe is a standout moment from 1984. Wouldn't It Be Good made number 1 in Poland, number 2 in Ireland and Germany, just like Dancing Girls, number 3 in Switzerland, number 4 in the UK, number 5 in Australia, number 9 in Canada, and number 10 in Italy. I am not always a fan of rockier guitars on synth tracks, but here I think it works really well. This is one of those blasts from the past that I don't get tired of. Drum talk. This fits really well with the identity of the album. It's sonically pleasing, bright and brassy. There's some kind of chant that puts me in mind of certain moments on No Parley by Paul Young. I feel the movement of the album is to its credit. We're 3 songs in and I'm still enthusiastic and the work is growing on me. Bogart, the intro synth hook is my favorite part of the song. This song's okay, it's not my favorite. It has character but strikes me as a little pedestrian comparatively. Gone to Pieces. The chorus is decent. It has a frenetic energy. It is again putting me in mind of Paul Young's No Parley. I prefer Laurie Latham's grasp of humour though. The brass gives the song energy, but I don't feel it achieves much. Shame on You. This track has a genuine funkiness to it. The chorus comes in and it's sung with a seemingly deliberate Australian twang. I'm finding in general on this album that I'm enjoying the background music far more than what's happening melodically. Cloak and Dagger, the production on this song is for the era really very good. I feel there's a distinct pickup in quality with this track. It's still not quite on a par with the single releases. Once again, the background music is effectively engaging. I think the choice to end with a guitar riff is a good one. Faces. This is definitely a song which manages to break past the more one-dimensional sounding tracks on the album. The chorus is solid. The breakdowns and vocal chorale part is creative. I think this really adds some much-needed weight to this collection. I like it. I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me is, every song in the summer of 1984 was about nuclear war. On initial release, it failed to make the top 40, but boy was it a big hit when it dropped again. Romping to number 2. I feel this is Nik's poppiest hit. The lyrics are great here. Old men in stripy trousers rule the world with plastic smiles. The chorus is easy to sing along to and rousing. Another song about nuclear war, Frankie's Two Tribes, stopped this song from being a number 1. And that's a shame because it should have been a chart topper. One of my favorite Nik Kershaw songs. Really, it's a good song. Human Racing talks about this sort of competitive thing that goes on. Human racing, this idea that we're all kind of like in a race against each other if you think about financial stuff and assets and status and things of that nature. What I've said here is that let's talk about saving the best for last, because I think this is a songwriting masterpiece. I mean, I really think this is a well-written song. And it's one of those great album title tracks. Look behind you, there's the man you're chasing. I think he does his best vocal work here too. This observational piece on competitive tendencies for me is one of the few times Nik's writing was on a par with the consistently reflective and conceptual Howard Jones. Human Racing for me dips down in the middle, starts strong and finishes stronger. I gave Nik Kershaw Single of the Fortnight back in March 1985 for Wide Boy from the Riddle album. Nik, for me, ever so slightly misses having that je ne sais quoi factor, but at his peak, I thought he was a cracking singles act. If there are any letdowns for me on this album, it's when it seems to go into Paul Young's No Parley territory. The influence of Ultravox, I think, does the album a lot of good. So for that reason, the final mark for Nik Kershaw's Human Racing is 67%.